Happy open office. I have been missing you for the last few weeks. It has been crazy with different events going on, so my schedule has not allowed me to hop on at 2 o'clock on Thursdays for open office. But my schedule also didn't allow me to change it to a different day, so we just canceled a couple weeks and we're back today. And today I'm hoping that we'll have a couple people hop on because I want to talk about something that is, hold on, getting a message. Something that is happening in the market right now. And those of you who are helping with buyers, or maybe you're having listings, so you're seeing it, um, you know what I'm talking about because oh, it's like a wild, wild west out there right now, isn't it? Do you not know what I'm talking about? No? Well, let's get down to it. We'll wait just a few minutes though, because I want to see if somebody else will hop on. There were a couple people saying that they would. So I'm hoping that they do because having a conversation about this stuff is way better than just me talking about it. Because one, I'm not the end all be all. I do not know everything. I will not even claim to try to know everything. I do try to learn as much as possible, but I could never know it all. So I'm hoping that we'll get somebody on here that can um sorry, that can chat with us about it and share their insights as well, because that's always better than just hearing one person's side of things happening, right? I've been finishing up some classes today for a certification I'm working on. Not related to real estate this time, but I got a couple of those coming up too because it's PD time. Got to get some PD in. Make sure I keep that license current. See if there's any messages about people hopping in and joining us today. I know that a couple people said they were, but I don't see them yet. So we'll give them a couple more minutes. Got to be on real estate time, real estate agent time. And we will see. We will see who else hops on here today. Okay, if it's not after April 24th, 2025, and you're watching this and you're in the Genesee County, Michigan area, I'm going to pop this up here. I don't know if it'll scan, but if you can scan that. If not, you can go to their Facebook page, the YWCA, and join us on April 24th from 11 to 1 for the Circle Lunch. It is the YWCA's biggest fundraiser of the year. So if it is before April 24th, 2025, try to get your ticket and come join us for the lunch and help raise funds for the YWCA and all the amazing things they do for our community. And there's lunch involved, yummy food. We're having our meeting today and we're talking about the food. So you'll probably want to be there to eat that yumminess. So again, April 24th, 11 to 1. This is 2025, April 24th. So if this is before April 24th, 2025, come join us. If it's after, ignore my invite because it's too late. Maybe you can watch for the 2026 luncheon. Ah, yes. All right, we're going to give people a couple more minutes, see if anyone makes it on here. We'll talk about this wild, wild market we've got going on. Is it light enough in here? I don't have my light on in here. And it's kind of gloomy outside today. It's kind of gray. And so I don't know. Is it bright enough in my office without the light? I think it's fine. I like working with it like this. So we'll keep it like that. Put my plan out of the way. Taking some classes. This list isn't really any good. Don't mind me, I talk to myself when I'm doing stuff in my office because it keeps me on track. respond to this message real quick and then we'll get started because it doesn't look like anyone else is gonna make it unless they show up really late. Okay, let's get started. Man, this desk really makes my computer wobble, huh? Anyhow, okay, what's going on in this market? Will this make it better? It's not plugged in. Never mind. I have a light up there I was going to turn on to make it bright enough. I think it's okay. So this market, I don't know how long you've been an agent. I became an agent in 2021. So toward of like the end of the like wild COVID market times. Like I knew that was happening, but I was not actively part of that. So I did not experience that firsthand as an agent. But I have not been removed from multiple offers and going over ask. Those things were still happening. When I became an agent, it just wasn't like day one of the listing, they had 5 offers kind of thing. It was more like sometimes day 30, they would get multiple offers all of a sudden. And most of the time it wasn't going over ask very high and you weren't having to do appraisal guarantees. So while I've had multiple offers, like dealt with it, I have not experienced it in like this mad rush version. So that is what's happening right now, though. And it's not happening with all houses because there's houses that are sitting on the market still that I've shown to clients that started their search in October, November of 2024. But on the houses that are priced properly, are in good condition, have the right features, it is like a mad dash. It's like a sprint to try to get a client a house. In I want to say probably like July, August, maybe a little before that, I started picking up a bunch of buyers, most of them first time, and none of them with very like tiny budgets. They all had pretty healthy budgets to be able to pick kind of any house they want in a first time home buyer way in our area. So that probably looks different if you're in some place like Arizona or California or Colorado. Those states, you're probably going to see first time home buyers with different budgets than you will in Genesee County, Michigan. Okay. But they also had very specific needs. One needed a nice garage because they work on vehicles a lot. One wanted some yard space and had to be within a certain county, but not too far from one of their jobs. One, they want property. The house needs to be livable, but they're not really super picky about the house. They're more interested in the amount of property the house has. So very different checklists of needs. All first-time home buyers, all have decent budgets. And so we start the search. And we keep going on the search because we know inventory right now is kind of like hit or miss. It's either not very good or there's just not anything to go look at, right? And when you narrow it down for your client to what they really want or where they need to be, you find that that inventory is even more difficult to figure out, especially for like my client who needed to be in a very specific location, but not, even though they had a very large geographical area they could be in for the one job that had the residency requirement, they had it narrowed that down to a very small area so that the other spouse didn't have to drive like 2 hours to work. So that gave us even a smaller inventory. And then for my client that wants property or the one that wanted the garage, if you go look at a house that has a garage and it's falling down, or it doesn't have electricity to it, or it's one car, or, different things like that, that's not what they're needing. They're needing something larger where they can lift up cars. It has to be tall enough. It has to have power in it. The one that wants property, it needs to be X number. They want it to be X number of acres. And the house needs to be livable and not need full remodel, because we've looked at a few that were nice large properties, but were near the top or the higher end of their budget. And the houses were the houses were in rough condition. So the good news is 2 of my 3 first-time home buyers that were struggling after 1, 2, 3, probably 3 offers a piece, 4 offers a piece. If I go back and count all the addresses I wrote offers for them, either have closed already and moved into their home, are getting ready to close. So 2 out of the 3 found their home. And one of them, I'm so happy for them, because they found a home like 100,000 under their budget and about 80,000 less than the last offer we wrote that they didn't get. So not only were we able to find them a home that they really love, but we got it for them way under budget. So they have, extra funds to either continue to save for sometime when they want to move again, or to update or change some of the things about the house that they're buying, which there really isn't much that needs it. Like the furnace is a little bit old, so it'll probably need one of those at some point. A couple of the, just some of the mechanicals are aging, so they have the funds, they'll be able to have the funds put away to take care of those things as they come. Like the maintenance that we all know as homeowners is coming, and including me, who is about to get a new roof next week, because 1, it's old, and 2, our wonderful storms blew a couple shingles off, and because it's old, no insurance is covering it. I'm not even trying. So bam, new roof coming to my house next week. So I'm happy that they have that, ability to have saved money, getting their house, spending less, and having money put away for the things that will come up later as a homeowner. But that was a struggle for both of them, because we wrote offers and got bid out, and wrote offers and got bid out, and wrote offers and got bid out. And now my third buyer, the one that wants property, and I want them to have all the property. They are hoping for 10 acres. They'll settle for 5. But the more the merrier. But also it needs to be not too far from one job, not too far from the other job, even though for the other job they can be farther. They're okay with that. And the house just needs to be livable. It needs to be decent. They need to be able to live in it. It needs to not have any major issues. Okay. 1, 2, I think we're on offer 4, might be 5. And we wrote that last night after we were out very late looking at a property that is about an hour from where I live and where they live, because that's where the price range and the properties can be found that they're looking for. And so we wrote it. They wrote it for over asking, but here's what's preventing them from getting it. And we won't know this one until it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we won't know about this one for at least 3 days, either Sunday night or Monday, because the seller does not want to cancel the showings that are already scheduled or the open house that's coming up. So we've submitted this offer, and now we wait. Well, their lender called the agent, and there is at least one offer with an appraisal guarantee. And this client just doesn't have the means to do an appraisal guarantee, because when you do an appraisal guarantee, for those of you who don't know, the buyer needs to have that cash. So if you write an offer for 150,000 on a house that is listed at 100, say 130,000, so you went 20 over asking because you're like, I got to get this house. And these are not the numbers for this house, but I'm using them because they're easy. And then they accept your offer, and then you get the appraisal, and the appraisal says, no, it's only worth 135,000. Now you have to go back to the negotiating table and say, okay, well, I'm going to pay 135,000 because that's what it's worth. And hopefully the seller doesn't get mad. Well, an appraisal guarantee says the lender will pay for the lender will agree to loan the buyer the money for the home up to the appraisal amount. So 135 or 80% of, or 97% of, depending on their loan. And then the buyer brings the cash to the table to make up the difference. And so when you write that appraisal guarantee, it says something like, we are offering $150,000 for this house, all of these blah, blah, blahs. And we'll do an appraisal guarantee up to, say, like $140,000. So maybe they're not going to go to the full 150 because, they don't want to come off of $20,000 or $15,000 or whatever that gap is going to be. But they're saying, like, if the appraisal comes back at 135, we'll pay up to 140 and we'll cover that difference with cash. Well, if you're a buyer that doesn't have that much cash to be able to cover the closing costs, your down payment, your inspection, your appraisal, all of those costs that don't get rolled into your mortgage, the ones you have to bring to closing, you also aren't gonna, you're not gonna have that extra 10,000 or 5,000 or 8,000 or 15,000 or $20,000 to bring to closing on top of those closing costs. So for some buyers, those appraisal guarantees just aren't really possible for them. And it's really kind of sad to watch as a buyer just gets beat out and beat out, beat out, beat out just because of an appraisal guarantee, because they don't have the they don't have the capital on hand to cover that difference. So what are some other things you can do besides an appraisal guarantee to be competitive? You could do quick closings, you could do inspection waivers, which I like really never recommend unless it's somebody who is an investor and they're just gonna gut it and flip it anyway. I really don't recommend those for first-time home buyers ever, because you could really end up with some major issues in your house if you don't get an inspection. Not saying that there aren't bad inspectors out there and you might end up with major issues anyway, or issues that cannot be found by the inspector. But having that inspection helps give you that peace of mind that those issues will be caught before the house becomes your problem. Oh, let's see, what else? You could have your buyer client make sure that they're paying your wage as the agent instead of having it rolled into the sale, or being covered by the seller. Sometimes the way that works. What are some other things? See, this is why I was hoping that there would be a couple people on today that come up with some of these great ideas. For like the appraisal guarantee, if the buyer has family who can qualify to gift them money, that could work. I was talking to a lender today who was mentioning that in a house like this where we saw it quickly when it became available and there's extra days of showings and an open house coming up, you can offer like an extra percentage to the price if they accept your offer today instead of holding those, and they cancel those so that you can move forward with the purchase. Sometimes they're willing to do that. But again, if it doesn't appraise and there's somebody that would do an appraisal guarantee, that's not going to be in the seller's best interest. Cash, I mean, cash is king, right? Because then there's not going to be an appraisal because you're just buying it for whatever price you chose. What else? Quick closings. If they need to stay in the house, maybe giving them a free rent back. Man, my brain just is not thinking of the things today. I really like it better when there's like back and forth because it really keeps the gears moving up there. And since, I do a million different things in a day, sometimes I need that extra, that extra thought power to come. Because sometimes just hearing what somebody else has thought about really makes my brain go, oh yeah, what about this? Brain, brain, brain. What else? What else? What else can you do to make your offer competitive? Skip a home warranty, closing fast. Bonus for accepting it quickly. Over asking. So our last offer the last offer we wrote was 10,000 over asking. The one before that was 28,000 over asking. But again, without the appraisal guarantee, it's just not cutting it for them. Doing the inspection and saying it's for informational purposes only, and the only thing that you'll use it for is to either move forward or back out, but you won't ask for repairs. That sometimes is helpful. And I should have wrote more things down today because I was really thinking some good stuff earlier, and then I got distracted by my other work. And then nobody's here to discuss it with me. I mean, some of the things that we do is I have the lender call, tell them how qualified they are and how deserving of getting a home. Yeah, weirdly, I'm not thinking of the stuff now that I had thought of earlier. Silly me for not writing the notes down. How many of you do that? Do you forget and write notes down? But anyway, while I work on remembering those things, which I'm sure I randomly will because my open office hours are typically like me rambling on and on or, chatting with other agents. What are you seeing in your market? Are you seeing that? Are you seeing multiple offers? Are you seeing over ask? Are you seeing appraisal guarantees? Are you seeing all of that stuff that makes the home buyers struggle with finding their home? Are you seeing houses sell over ask? What else? What are you seeing in your market? And if you are seeing that and you're working with buyers, what are you doing to help your buyers get their offers accepted? And if you're the listing side, what are your clients looking for in those offers that will make them accept them? So if you're on the listing side and you're getting multiple offers, what is making your clients choose them? Is it straight up the money? Is it quick closing? Is it free rent back? What are you seeing your clients choose over other options in purchase agreements when you're getting multiple offers? I know for a lot of people, it's really straight just about the dollar amount, but for some people, it's um, being able to stay in the house for an extra 30 days. For some people, it is maybe they've already moved out and they just want to be done with, going back and shoveling snow or mowing the grass, right? So maybe it's close in 20 days or less. So what are you seeing? Put it in the comments so that we can check it out later, since you're not here live with me. Anything else? Anything else? What else are we seeing in the market? Share your experiences. Let's see, I'm looking at my list of topics. Oh, goodness. Since I'm not thinking of the good things for the offers today. If you are a real estate agent and you're not with Epic already, and you're in Michigan, I want you to know something about Michigan that's pretty cool. One, we have our very own transaction coordinator on staff now so that we don't have to use just random transaction coordinators, which is fine. We have a great transaction coordination team through Epic. It's actually like a third party that Epic uses for us, and they're free for us to use as one of our benefits. But Michigan now has over 300 agents at Epic alone. And I know for some brokerages that doesn't sound like very many, but we've only been open for a year and a half in Michigan. So it is kind of it's a lot of fast growth for us here. And we now have a Michigan transaction coordinator that is for all of the Michigan agents to use. And there is now a compliance specialist that is part of our part of the Epic team. That there's actually multiple. They cover geographical areas for the brokerage to make sure that all of our paperwork is in compliance for us. So they go through and check it all, make sure it's all compliant, and give it the thumbs up. So those are pretty cool additions. Now those things were already happening, but because we were growing so fast, it was sometimes taking a little bit longer for those things to occur. And now that we have additional staff and additional state specific transaction coordinator, they're going to go a little smoother and a little faster for us. Although I'm not sure how much faster it can get, because in Michigan, unlike some other states, Michigan, we are not allowed to get paid at the closing table. It has to go to our brokerage, and our brokerage has to pay us. And my last closing, I got paid. We closed at 10:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. We closed that morning just before noon, and I was paid before 5 o'clock. So, I mean, I think they're pretty fast. I think, as long as your paperwork's in order, Epic's on it. It used to be like a day, maybe two. The longest I had it take, I think, was like 2 weeks, and that was because it was a lease, and our leases are done differently. But that was also like the first lease, so I wasn't really sure how to get that money put into that account. Sorry, my landlord and somebody are out front like talking about some landscaping around our building, and it got distracted me. But anyway, more messages. No one trying to hop on though. Okay. So yeah, if you're not with Epic and you're thinking of a change, there is we have Epic Explained events regularly throughout the month. The different groups put them on. If you want one-on-one, whatever the case may be, and you're interested in Epic, I'd love to chat with you, make you part of the Community Agents group, which is an unofficial team. You can use the marketing if you want, but you're free to use whatever marketing you wish. And we have a Facebook group, and we share daily tips on activities to do to grow your business. And we support one another. But also there's, I don't know, 50 other groups you can join, because the one thing which I really, 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 really love about Epic that I didn't always love about my last brokerage, even though I have nothing bad to say about the brokerage itself, because this is not a brokerage specific or like a brokerage thing. It's more of people in the brokerage thing, except that, it comes from the top down sometimes, is that in Epic, if you have like a group, so Community Agents, or we also have the Hive, or we have Power Players, or there is, whoever, whatever the group is that they've named themselves. At Epic, it's not allowed to be exclusive. So if you come join Epic with me and Community Agents, and this other person comes and joins Epic with someone at the Hive, and they want to be part of Community Agents and share with the information, they can be. It's not exclusive to just people who have come to be here with me. So I really, really like that, because sometimes when you have those exclusive groups within the same organization, it feels very cliquey, and it can feel very, it can feel, it could feel good if you're in the group that you think you should be in, but it can feel bad if you're like, man, I have this group that doesn't help me, and I wish I was getting information from this group. Well, here you can go to that group and say, hey, I'm here and I'd like to learn from you. Not that you have to be part of any of those groups, because Epic has all this extra training at the Power Academy, and they pay for your PD, whatever. Anyway, I'm off topic, because I told you I would just babble on and on. Look at my calendar, see what else is up there. When you have first-time home buyers, do you help them think about saving or planning for, the capital repairs that their house will need at some point, the roof, the furnace, the air conditioner, the driveway, if it's paved and maybe it'll need to be repaved, water softeners, things like that. Like, do you talk about that with them at all? Or do you just go, yeah, whatever, they'll figure it out? I like to talk about those things with my clients. I like to help them feel um, prepared for home ownership. And of course, I tell them I'm not the expert completely. I am the expert with, because that's my job, right? But I'm not like the expert financial planner. I'm not the expert planner for getting a roof done. I'm not the expert planner for getting a new furnace. Um, I'm just a homeowner who's also a real estate agent. And I've experienced what it's like, one, to have my fridge break in the middle of the night on a Sunday or on a Saturday night and have to run out and try to find a way to get a new fridge because there's no way I'm getting a repair person out on Sunday as all of my food is going spoiling and going bad. I've been the homeowner who has come home to find everything in my freezer rotten or soft because the freezer just quit. Um, I have been the homeowner who right now um, was planning to get a roof, but the weather made it happen sooner. I've been the homeowner who found that my house was falling down from the inside in the center because it was not properly built 5 years before I bought it. I've been the homeowner who had their porch railings that hold up part of the roof rot and have to replace them and have to do it again because sometimes that happens. I've been the homeowner that needed to have their sidewalk tore up and fixed. So thinking about those things, I've been the homeowner that opened my laundry room door to a room full of smoke because my washing machine, not the dryer, surprisingly, the washing machine decided that it was not going to do what it's supposed to do and was smoking up my house. So I try to make sure, especially for first time home buyers, that one, whatever their budget is, I'm always trying to look at lower than it because I don't want them to be house poor. I'm also the one who's like, okay, these appliances in this house are older. So even though they're working now and they could work for some amount of time, it'd be a good idea to start planning for their replacement now. So look at the type of fridge, stove, washer, dryer, whatever that you might want to replace it with and see how much they cost and start saving for that now. This is your furnace that looks like it was put in the 50s. They're probably lucky it's still running. So you're probably going to want to save up for that. Here's a rough estimate of how much a furnace is going to cost. So I try to be the agent that's helpful in that manner. Like I can't guarantee that that furnace will still work the day they move in or that that fridge is still going to work. I mean, that's even the case with new appliances, but when you see older ones in a home, it's even more true. So I try to help with those things. So if you help first time home buyers, if you don't already do those things, maybe it's time to start thinking about not just helping them learn about the home buying process, but helping them learn about the home owning process. And if you're a real estate agent that doesn't own a home, match up with someone who does and chat with them about ways that they can plan ahead for that stuff like that to happen. Because it can be a struggle when you need $30,000 or $40,000 to replace a roof on your house, or you need $8,000 to put a new furnace or air conditioner in, or you need $3,000 for, a new appliance set, things like that. Yeah, but I really, really love helping first time home buyers. So if you have any and you're not loving it, send them my way because I'm game for helping them. Well, we're only about halfway through our hour, but my brain is done thinking of those things. And no one hopped on that said they would be here today. And I don't have any messages from them. I'm sure that they're busy helping their clients. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. It's good. It just makes the office hour a little less fun and exciting. So go out there, talk with your clients, help them learn, help them find their homes, help them write competitive offers in this crazy market so that they get the house they love, help them remember that just because they don't get this house, the next house could be better. And in at least one, no, I think in both of the cases of my current buyers that have recently closed or getting ready to close, I think they really like the house they ended up with better than the ones they wrote offers on before. So sometimes not getting the house is the best thing for the client. Um, and the one that's getting ready to close, this backyard, I can't wait to see it when it's all green because it is a beautiful yard. And I hope that they really get to make lots of fun memories in this house together once it's theirs in a week. But anyway, get out there, serve your clients, find them homes, write great offers, and good luck in this crazy market. And I plan to see you next week. Yeah, next week. The following week, I might have to cancel because I do have an event, but I should be back in time to still have it that day. We shall see. Anyhow, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.